Hello and welcome. Excuse me. These are horse racing selections for Wednesday, the 30th of April. I am Flatcapcallum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Last day of the month. Let's see what we've got in store. Before we do, we'll have to do the review of Sunday because I didn't play Monday or Tuesday. And then we'll get into the Wednesday plan. It's actually above average in terms of what we're putting out from a staking point of view. We haven't got big prices playing with, but I've got 9 horses that hit the star system, and it's a £25 £50 stake. £25.50 is so. Yeah, reasonable outlay for the channel when it comes to Wednesday, particularly considering Tuesday I wasn't anywhere close to doing anything, and Monday I did have 4 lined up, and they just got a bit short. And actually, funny enough, they drifted out again. But between you and me, no one missed a jackpot. Put it that way. So that's where we are. So we'll do the review of Sunday and indeed last week. Now there's always a choice, right? Everyone's got a choice in these things, right? There's a choice. I could delete all of last week's videos and just come on here and tell you what an excellent week, and that everyone's loving it. I could come and do that, but I'd be full of a crock of shit, wouldn't I? Because that's not how you should be doing things, right? That's not upfront, decent, and honest, right? So I'm not going to delete a video if I have a losing horse, and I'm not going to come and tell you it was a fantastic week or a fantastic weekend when it wasn't. Because if I say that and it wasn't, you still know, right? Because it's a bit gaslighty because you have to start second guessing yourself, going, was it a fantastic week? I thought we lost. Is that what happened? But, each to their own, right? Some people are sort of upfront and honest, and some people are very missing the scruples, shall we put it that way? So careful out there, folks. Just be very, very careful out there. And also a reminder, 2 horses, both about 12 to 1. If one of them places and the other one doesn't, you don't make any money from that. You lose, right? You do actually lose. Anyway, the review of Sunday. I'm doing it the upfront way, right? I'll tell you where we win and lose. This is what happened on Sunday. That wasn't good enough. That was nowhere good enough. That ran a really nice race and was second. Non-runner, no good. 3.30 back. Loss of 7.95. That is a loss of 55. So outside of the Cheltenham week, second worst week of the year. If you look back last year, we had 5 worse weeks than that. If you look back in 2023, we had 2 worse weeks than that. Lower variance in 2023 for some reason. And then actually, if you go back to 2022, the first year we started, there was 8 worse weeks than that. So I know on the back of having nice weeks, it feels very painful to have a losing week. It felt painful for me to be making videos and putting out videos 6 days of 7 and losing every single one of them. That's not where I want to be, but that's where we are. As I stand talking to you, £19.99 profit. I'm not trying to sell you a product for that price. I'm just telling you that is the current profit margin for the channel. With £25.50 going out on Wednesday, I could be coming on for the following day saying we're actually in deficit if we don't get at least £5.56 back. £5.51. Sorry, £5.51 back. And overall, we will winners or draw on Wednesday. We will come out with a profit for Wednesday, and a reasonable one. Win, lose or draw. The amount of which it would depend on how we perform on Wednesday. So that's the reality of where the actual statistics are. As a reminder, I know I'll say this, but not everybody pays attention and not everybody cares and not everybody bothers to look at the detail, which is kind of an important thing. And we don't look at the detail. You get sucked in by, jokers. So when you look at the detail, in my description of every single video is the full history of the channel, the upfront, above board, legit stats, profit and loss for every single month since I've run, the overall running total, I'll kind of update every month. It's all there. All right, let's get through to Wednesday. Oh yeah, and on Wednesday we're doing some stuff a bit different as well. Stuff that I don't do very often. Stuff I haven't done this year. And not because I had a terrible week last year and I'm having to come up with new tricks and angles and whatever else. It's just different types of stuff. I do different things. It's not very good explanation, is it? So you will see on today's episode of the Flat Cap Callum channel, I have got a combination tri-cast and, in a different race, a reverse forecast. Generally speaking, I use them sparingly, personally. I don't tend to do them on the jumps, and what I found statistically, I don't get well, not really much of it in any margin by doing it on the all-weather. But on the flat turf, it's okay. It's not as much as doing multiples. And last year I refined the system alongside him when I was doing star system, that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was a positive return for me personally last year. Let's see whether I can translate that to what I'm doing on the channel this year. If it goes not our way on Wednesday, it doesn't mean it was a terrible idea. It just means it didn't work on Wednesday. The proof is in the pudding. Is if we get through the whole flat season, and I'll keep a log of this, are we up or down when it comes to forecast tri-cast bets? Because they won't appear very often. I need a set of criteria, conditions, class of race, yada yada yada, lots of stuff. I'm not going to go into the full methodology behind it. But in order for me to put out what I think is a viable one, then I'd need certain things. So it won't be every day, it won't be every week. You might not even have another one for a month. I don't know. But I've happened to have found myself on 2 races where I think it is viable to play for the tri-cast and the forecasts. So that is what I am going to do. The other thing, just to say out loud as well, because I went and did a bit of reflection over after the weekend, of some of the selections, and I think on Saturday and Sunday I was a little bit lax by my standards, and I think on reflection there was 4 selections across that weekend that I shouldn't have put in. That were really, I was sort of slightly pushing my own threshold, and I think, if I'm honest, just to make the bet a little bit more interesting, or to make it up to a Yankee or whatever it might be. And so yeah, it wouldn't have made fundamentally masses of difference. We're talking about a couple of quid, but the point is, it's always good to go and check yourself, because discipline is so important in this game, and I have very good discipline in terms of what I do in most of the time. And me having a lax moment is a couple of selections crossing a line that probably shouldn't do. That's not me chucking 8 times the stake I should normally do, right? So bet within your means. But yeah, discipline is super important, and it's really important to go back and check yourself sometimes. And I did go back and check myself over the selections for the weekend, and I was like, yeah, there are 4 that shouldn't have been there. So I'm not necessarily saying, I'm not apologising like I've done anything wrong. I'm just explaining to you my own methodology, and sometimes it's good to go check. All right, let's do Wednesday's tips. I'm going to try and go through these with minimal explanation, basically just because it's late and you want to hear me stop rambling or waffling on, and I might even do a salad update at the end. That's a request. So this is the split leg Yankees. We've got split leg Yankee in the UK. We've got the tri-cast forecast bets coming up, both at Pontefract, and then I've got a Punchestown bet as well. So in the UK, 140 Ascot, starting with the listed race there. Royal Dubai, good price, 14s, definitely should be single figures. Be interesting to see what the market makes of it, but I think that's a good price. 14s on Royal Dubai. 332 Pontefract Highway Grey. Now there's 2 races in this specific bet. It's quite bookie sensitive. The 332 and the 655. 7 runners, you want 3 places, which you can get with the advertised bookies here: Sky, 365, Betfred, Ladbrokes, Coral. I would say the bet is far more marginal if you're only getting 2 places in both those. I'm not saying if that's all I could get, I probably would play it, but these might be more scrapey channel standards, I would say. But if you're getting 3 places, they are starred horses. So 332 Pontefract Highway Grey, regular on the channel, 15-2. 7 runner, 3 places. Then we've got the 405 Pontefract split leg Westernesse Westernessy, I think. I can't read that at this time of night. And Theme Park, so 10s and 11s respectively. And then the 6:55 Brighton. It is a bit of a basement handicap race, but I do think the price is worth playing, even though the horse, I think it ran like 2 days ago, so I'm hoping it actually runs. But if it's a non-runner, so be it, this becomes combo doubles and trebles. But Mudleham in the 6:55 Brighton, 16-1. 2.15p each way Yankees. The first one is Royal Dubai, Highway Grey, Westernessy and Mudleham, and the second one is Royal Dubai, Highway Grey, Theme Park and Mudleham. A reminder, they're not all combo double trebles and whatever, because I don't want to put more stake on this race in the multiples. I want to use this, so there's more stake on that on the singles, but on the multiples it's included as like a leg that's split in half between those two, so it's Dutching for want of a better phrase. 50p each way singles, Royal Dubai, Highway Grey, even though that's short price, and Mudleham, they are 50p each way singles. And then 70p win singles on Westernessy and Theme Park. So the two Pontefract horses win single. The total is £11, so that's £6.60, £4.40 on the singles. And a reminder, Sky 365, Betfred Ladbrokes Coral will get you 3 places, and I think Sky gets you 4 places there, and just there, 4 places there, so that's why Sky stand out. That's bet 1, £11. Alright, bet 2, combo tricast forecast. Okay, if this is new to you, I shall try and explain. So no bookie advice, on the basis that I'm not looking at extra places here. What we've got is forecast tricast, and we've got win doubles, so the prices are relevant for the win doubles, not for the forecast tricast. If you're using a bookie like 365, they will normally honour the price of the horses when calculating the forecast tricasts. As far as what I'm doing for the channel, it will be the standard tricast forecast payouts if we happen to get one. So, 257 Pontefract, reigning prophet, When Moon, Arecibo, 11-2, 11-2, 14-1 for the benefit of the doubles. And what the bet there is, 25p combination forecast and 25p combination tricast. So you put all 3 in the bet slip, and different bookies will do it differently. Sometimes you physically have to click on an option for forecast tricast. Some of them you can literally put those in the bet slip and do it. But there are 6 combinations of forecast, i.e. the first 2 past the post, 6 combinations of that, and there are 6 possible combinations of the tricast, because you have to do it in different order. So, you know, first, second, third is one order. First, second, third is another order. You know, you get the drift. There are 6 possible combinations of each one. So 6 of those is 150, 6 of those 150. So it's £3 on the combination forecast and combination tricast in there. So a winner is not enough. What we need is the first 2 home for the forecast. That will be a nice little payout if we manage to land that. If we got the tricast, that would be cooking with gas. So that's that bet. And then the 405 Pontefract, Westernessy and Theme Park that were in the split leg Yankee, it's a straight up 50p reverse forecast. So the first 2 in either order, reverse, not straight. Straight would be half the stake in a specific order. We're playing reverse forecast, either or. So 50p reverse forecast is a £1 stake. They need to both come in the first 2 places. And then additionally to that, 6 times 25p win doubles. If you want to do each way doubles, it's not a terrible bet. It's just I'm conscious about stake for the channel, and I've already included them elsewhere. So win doubles on the prices quoted, 550 is a total for bet 2. We will see how our Pontefractness goes. Who knew on this Wednesday that I was going to get excited about Pontefract? But don't worry, here's a Punchestown bet. And I've actually managed to get a Yankee, not in the races that everyone might expect. But here we go. And because I think I said, for those of you who read the comment that I wrote about Tuesday's Punchestown Festival, I didn't want to get involved in the Mullins lottery. And then, sure enough, there goes the 3 races, the rank outsider of his selections. I think it was the third of 3, fourth of 4, and 5 of 5. The biggest price of all is in those big races. And then Al Fabiolo could have been running a nice race when falling. That would have been the 4th one. But there we go. I'm not getting involved in that stuff. But we've got the 305 Punchestown. There's a few of these interesting sort of rated-y type races that are not quite, listed class, but they're slightly better than a bog stat. It's a bit funny in between stuff, really. They're a little bit hard to gauge sometimes, but I've found myself on enough where all of these hit the star system. Should have said it actually, just as a flag. The 2 Pontefract horses that were in the split leg Yankee are starred. The 3 horses in the Tricast forecast, they are not starred. Different kind of bet. Don't have to hit the star rating for me to use that as a viable bet. So just for the benefit of statistical information, the 9 horses in bet combinations between bet 1 and 3 are the 9 horses that I will record as stats as starred horses. About 2% of people care, I know. Anyway, 5 past 3, Punchestown. This is the way, 12s. We're then going on to 3:40 Punchestown. I'm not going to pronounce that well, am I? Fad Idrain, something like that, 9-1. Then we're getting into more familiar territory. I know people will be like, it's a 7 runner and you're not even getting 3 places unless you're Sky. But Switch from Diesel is a channel regular, 8-1. It's a good bet, I think, for that to come top 2. The quality of the bumper division is so wayward. If you look at the race, that corresponding race last year, that horse ran in it and was well down the field. It's a better horse now this year. But some of the horses, I mean, Jasmine DeVoe was in that one, Romeo Coolio was in that one. It was a really good standard of bumper last year. Less good this year. But Switch from Diesel, 8-1. And then we're finishing off. We backed it last time at Fairyhouse when it faded. I'm going to stick faith in Must Be Obeyed. 5 past 6 Punchestown, 11-1. 25p each way, straightforward Yankee. 50p each way singles on This Is the Way and Must Be Obeyed, the double figure prices. 75p win singles on Fad Edrain and Switch from Diesel. £9 total. Sky and 365 joint best, because Sky, you've got the 3rd place there. 365, I think it's like a 4th place on one of those ones that's better. But in order to hit what we want, is we're looking at it's 4 places. That's right, 4 places, 3 places, 2 places, 4 places, which is achievable with Paddy as well, and Betfair, Betfred, and BetMGM I've chucked in there for this one. But Paddy, Betfair, Betfred, those are the place terms that I'm equal to. Sky and 365 will exceed the place terms that I'm putting out for the channel. All right. That is it. We will see how we fare the rest of the week. And at some point, if I've got time, I'll try and do a bit of a stats rundown from April. Yeah, just time permitting. I'll have to see what I can do when I can sort of fit that in. I'm conscious for Friday's racing. I'm going to be very video time poor, so I'll update with a bit of a plan. But there is an absolute chance I might have to just step out of Friday racing, even if it's good. Video making is going to be difficult, but also time to do research is going to be pretty tricky. So I'm expecting I'll do something for Thursday racing. Friday is a question mark, and then I'm expecting to do Saturday. Saturday looks like quite an interesting day. We've got Guineas weekend, but there's also some handicaps knocking about in other tracks, and it's like was the Thirsk Hunt Cup or something like that. There's quite a few tracks that have got potentially some interesting handicaps on. All right, that's me. See you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye bye.